Aries, welcome to a timeless, love variant reading where we discuss however love may be absent or present in your life, or you may just be here because it's caught your vibe in one way and you want to hear whether anything within the storytelling time is yours. Please bear in mind a few other details before we get into the reading. I am Master 7th. That reads these energies for you should you want to know who she is and what I have to offer. Her link can be found in the description box below. For some insight, I am a master healer that provides remote wellness and or tarot intuitive insights. Just know that this reading may provide you universal justice should you be Aries and Sun rising and or Jupiter position. Should it be anywhere else in your chart that you may be aware of or just in general could see yourself benefiting yourself from, you may be in search of emotional redemption where the content of my sister channel may be of more value to you. The content between both of my channels are timeless messages, and a link to get over to that channel is found in the description box below. You'll also find various other ways in how to navigate this channel and the other channel in the description box as well. And yeah, in general, remember this is not a one-to-one reading, all right? This is not you and me. This is you and me and reading everything else, okay? So take what may seem as yours and leave the rest that you're unsure about behind. All right, Two of Pentacles with the Queen of Wands. So it's emotional redemption, okay? It is emotional redemption. I think it's from the viewpoint of you wanting to make sense of materialism, okay? And that's where you're maybe, maybe your feed is and filtered out for mentors and motivational quotes and motivational speakers and life coaches. Maybe you're in therapy, maybe you've been in and out of therapy and trying to find the right thing. Maybe it's too much of a financial cost. And I see that the ultimate goal, I think, for true, I think what you're in search of, all right, which I think is true redemption, will require an emotional redemption. I think right now there is a need to make sense of the world, objectively. Objectively, there is a sense of needing to make sense of the world, and that's where this energy provides more of that universal justice energy, okay, within this channel. That's where the content where I would lean towards. If you want to hear messages from me, go check out my sister channel. Use your intuition to take what is yours as far as listening to a reading or what you receive from the reading itself. All right, we have Four of Cups, Nine of Swords, and the Six of Wands. So, there are no two people are alike, but two different people can say the same thing. And then where do you take your truth, High Priestess? Where do you find knowing that you might applaud the fact that the same person feels maybe you do, or two different people that don't know each other share the same viewpoint or opinion, and then maybe it either compromises or meshes with yours, or disagrees or agrees, who knows? But there is a contingency towards knowing that there's a formula that really is the basic formula. You have an opinion, you either express this or you don't get to, more or less. The basic formula of life. Eat, drink, sleep, shit, repeat. Everybody drinks, everybody eats, everybody sleeps, everybody shits, everybody pees. And since we do all that, some people can have an expression within that. Maybe there's pros and cons to the shitting, to the peeing, there's a good way of drinking and a bad way of drinking, good way of eating and a bad way of drinking. There's pros and cons to the duality of what we essentially all do the same. And because of that, that's where we fall in line to thinking that our opinion matters. No, it's an expression. The opinion is not factual of any kind. It's more or less an opinion. You may change your opinion from one day or to another, or to a time bracket of your chapters of life. Maybe you were this religion, morphed yourself into that religion. Maybe you grew up liking blue and now you love purple. Maybe you had terrible shits and now you have adequate shits. best shit of your life. Funny that this is coming up. Maybe you are contingent on having a good diet, changed it drastically, but now the one thing that you need, aka water, is now becoming the hot topic of like the last maybe thing to pay attention to, because maybe you've been vegan for a while, maybe you know how to have a plant-based diet, but have you checked your water intake? Is your water any good? And then you're like, oh shit, there is no way of doing perfect. Maybe you're a fucking vegan and you want to have an animal farm. Are you going to feed them the vegan diet, or are you going to be the handler to give those animals that require the meat diet as well? There's all different kind of hurrahs, opinions, and ways that you can live out your bubble. There are people who are in communities just to be able to live in that bubble, and not living flourishly amongst each other, not caring a shit about what you might be thinking. Is that a flaw? No. Is it perfect? No. So does that mean there is no perfection? Correct. Yeah, there is no perfection. There is none. There's only doing. And in doing, something either is good or bad. And even that is then a perspective, because your good might be somebody else's bad, and their bad might be your good. So you're, I think, becoming more... Some of y'all are so afraid for that shit. Some of y'all are more contingent to accepting that, all right, healing is a duty. Yet I sure as hell don't want to approach healing and have to repeat the shit that I had gone through. Look at that, 7 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. You don't want to repeat some of the trauma pains. What are you gonna? So let me ask this question then. If you're someone who is contingent, let's say you are, let's assume, let's make an ass out of ourselves if we need to get this point across. But let's say you're contingent in thinking that unconditional love is to be found. You're using something like this to try to figure out is in your life, in your path, maybe feeding your curiosity and guidelines, whatever it is that you're using this for, or any other niches, information for, whatever resources to feed your curiosity, your place and stance in life. Like, if you have that anticipation for the future, then why wouldn't that be contingent on also addressing the past? And that past is what then the work of reminding you of what is addressing duality, which the High Priestess understands. The High Priestess understands that not everything is understood through black and white, but things are attracted through the versions of black and white. Pros and cons. Can I? Shouldn't I? Yes or no. Light and or darkness. However, the tug of war is a tug of war that wouldn't be a tug of war if one variable weren't there, or the one variable turns into more. That's unfair. It's... When you arm wrestle, you arm with one person, right? One other person. Would it be that fair to have one person arm wrestle 20 people with the arm strength of one hand? Like just 20 people holding on to one person's arm? I think it would be more or less that hiccup to wonder whether or not that's a fair game is already an answer to it being an answer of what it should or shouldn't be. Okay? And giving yourself that marginal breath of space, that time, to reach decisions, to reach conclusions, requires not just the idea of wanting to participate in the frequency to get the frequency towards you called law of attraction, but also how you're ready to process all that. That's emotional redemption. Okay? That's you more or less accepting this energy of materialism with the Page of Pentacles. Understanding duality within you of femininity and masculinity that's non-gender specific. Yet there is woman, and then there's man, and then there is different dialects of women, and there's different dialects of men. There's color, and then there's different rays of color. They're all color, but one is orange and one is red. One vibrates this color, this frequency to be this color. That's why it's that color. And that's a different dialect of color. So you can be a linguist and know one language and then realize you're not a master of it because there's different dialects. You know, like, and then you can maybe then accept that you're maybe a master of that dialect. And that's not contingent on whether or not you can speak the other dialects. That doesn't lessen or devalue you being a master of something. All right, Ace of Swords. So I think this is a lot more about groundedness. You may not think it as an Ace of Swords energy, but I think the energy where it's wanting to get to is reminding you that you are the one to trigger groundedness. You are the one to trigger logic and reason. You are more than capable of understanding duality and juggling between the two and making it make sense to you in small and minor ways. Queen of Wands is adamant about that, okay? She won't back down for nothing. All right, she will fight for the cause until the cause has figured out what the cause has figured out, okay? Like she's adamant, non-gender specific. There's an adornment coming through here, wanting to present yourselves better, have better mannerisms. So I see somebody like reading up about a certain niche of interest and getting background information to have a better representation for themselves. Maybe also having to do with an interview, getting some getting some polishings, getting some interest, some notes. I'm seeing the brainstorming happening, okay, and that's good. It's you playing a puppeteer master with yourself, and then figuring out whether or not the puppet within that you are a puppeteer master about, how he or she is navigating in his life, and who you fuck with and who you don't, you know, what you're not gonna fuck with and what you are gonna fuck with. Like, it's a very in-your-face energy without it saying I'm a threat. So I like that for you. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, that's the last thing y'all want again. Aries, y'all not gonna be able to escape this, okay? I'm sorry. It's going on for fucking so long now that Virgo energy is showing up. It's showing up again. Virgo is showing up in your readings, and it's triggering the fuck out of y'all. Y'all don't know what to do with it. And the best way I can tell you to start looking at it as is Virgo is galaxy energy. If you're contingent on you can't get rid of that person, that means you haven't understood some aspects of the galaxy. Because once you understand the aspects of the galaxy, then maybe that person is no longer having the need to deliver their purpose within your life to you. But there's something that your ego is refusing to see. So Virgo and the Fool are showing up. This is like a match made in no heaven. Okay? Because it's like Virgo is telling you to go in to the world. That's the Hermit energy saying, pull in. Trust with it. Trust that shit. And y'all are external energy, and you're like, wait, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to trust the inside that's telling me to go outside, but then I'm outside and then I get distracted with all the shit I gotta do. Yeah. Make it make sense. Pull that to the front. Pull all that to the front. Be real about it. Be open about it. Be so open that you don't know what to do with yourself, like the Fool energy. Be so clear and honest that you have nothing to lose, because some of you are pathological liars. You know, you have excuses, you have your reasons, I see it, but there's a but. And since there's a but, that pretty much cancels anything that was said out before. So, you know, you gotta restructure the sentence to not throw insult to the game. All right, Aries. Woo, that Hermit energy is real, okay? Y'all want to have a little dose of that, go to your playlist in my channel. Have at it. Virgo is allowed in your world. All right, I'm wishing you a wonderful morning or night wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. And may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing.